Hello world, this is Jeffrey, JGB146 Blake for Hoopa Hideout, and I'm coming to you today with a crazy deck. This deck actually placed 4th at the Stuttgart Regionals, so we got top 4 and made it deep, and maybe you'll see why as we dig in a little bit. This is a LostBox deck, but it's not like LostBox the way that your mama played it. So we have Comfey doing LostBox things, flower selecting, getting you into the Lost Zone. We have Colress doing LostBox things, sending a couple cards to the Lost Zone, helping you draw. We've got Cramorant doing LostBox things, attacking when we have 4 or more in the Lost Zone for free. But we have no Sableye, because our late game is not about Sableye. It's not about putting 120 damage somewhere. It's about one-hit knockouts. How do we get there? Well, part of it involves hitting a bunch of different things for weakness. Part of it involves playing Roaring Moon and 3 Super Rods. Part of it involves going a little bit crazy, and we'll get to that part. So we play the standard Mirage Gates. We play all the things to accelerate energy the way you're used to in LostBox. We play 2 vacuums to get to the 4 count and the 7 counts faster. We don't care about the 10 count though. And then it gets interesting. So for our attackers, we have Roaring Moon to just knock out anything that you need to if and when it happens. Roaring Moon also hits for Dark Weakness. That's relevant when you think about like Mew VMAX and to some extent Gardevoir and a few random things here and there. Another great attacker in those situations is Moltres V. And Moltres V, fairly consistent attack just as it is. Vanilla kind of 190 that can progress your game pretty well and allow single prizers to at least follow up for knockouts on most things. But the weakness part's where the deck goes off the rails with our other attackers. So we'll just start. Iron Hands EX, not a Pokemon you think about hitting for weakness all that much, because sure, you can attack against like a Pidgeot, and you can hit for weakness with the 3 energy attack, but that's kind of vanilla. And the 4 energy attack with extra prizes only hits for 240 when you hit for weakness, so it doesn't really work, right? So Iron Hands is mostly for single prizers. Well, I'm here to tell you, Iron Hands has seen the light, and he's decided that weakness should be better. And that's what this deck does. We play Town Store to get tools, okay? We play Forest Sealstone to get whatever we want off of our Vs, and we play Moltres V and a Raikou V to take advantage of that. We also play the tool Supereffective Glasses. And the short version of what that does is that it allows us to apply weakness as ×3 instead of 2. And we can get it out with the Town Store or the Forest Sealstone, so you can often get to it whenever you need it. Now what does ×3 do for us? Well, now Iron Hands, instead of hitting for 120, he hits for 360 against lightning weak Pokemon. That takes out a Lugia V-Star if Lugia ever comes back into play. That takes out a Pidgeot EX. Of course it takes out Squawkabilly, and of course it takes out Lumineon, and anything else that's lightning weak with under 320 hit points. That's a lot of stuff. You have Raikou V that can hit a little harder than that if you happen to come up against a lightning Pokemon or a lightning weak Pokemon that is somehow having more HP than that. Palkia is another one that Iron Hands now will hit for weakness and take 3 prizes on. Lots of stuff. Lots of stuff. Then we've also got Tropius. Tropius's attack seems cool because it does 120, and when you multiply that times 2, you can knock out a Roaring Moon as long as they don't have any tools attached that bump their HP to 290. That doesn't always happen. And against Charizard, you're 2-hit KOing, and they're definitely taking a 1-hit KO. So it's not been that great an answer as a grass attacker, but when you make it 3 times weakness, now we're talking. 290 HP on a Roaring Moon with the Ancient Booster Capsule, nothing. We're hitting 360. Charizard EX with his massive 330 HP, nothing. Tropius for 2 energy is hitting 360. You're getting those knockouts. Now granted, that attack only applies if they've knocked out one of your Pokemon the turn before, but it's still pretty good and pretty easy to pull off. It's just 1 Raihan or 1 Mirage Gate, and you're cooking. So what's next? Well, we also have some relevant fighting weakness Pokemon. There's Snorlax. And you already know about Minior and Snorlax, probably, right? You attach an energy, he jumps into the active, and then you can Oko Snorlax. But what if Snorlax has a Bravery Charm on him? Well, then it doesn't work so well, because Snorlax has 150 HP, and Minior is hitting for 20 times the 4 energy retreat cost. Well, that's 160 when you double it for weakness, right? That takes out Snorlax normally. Great. But it doesn't take him out if you have a Bravery Charm on. Unless you apply super effective glasses and make that weakness triple, now you're hitting for 340. Those Bravery Charms are nothing. Glasses are better. Also, what else can we take out with a fighting type that hits for 240 if you have a 4 energy retreat cost? That's right. The counter that most Miraidon decks are playing for single prize decks is Iron Hands. But if you add some glasses to your Minior, then, well, Iron Hands is going away. Single energy attachment plus the tool, you jump from the bench to the active, and you take those 2 prizes. Now, we got a few other things that are cooking in here as well, but that's the gist of it. Town Store, we've talked about, helps you get the glasses or the stone. We've got a counter catcher for when we're behind in prizes, because it will happen some. And we got Boss's Orders for when we're not behind in prizes, but you have a Pokemon that's a great target anyway. We've got Zinnia's Resolve as sort of a way to draw 6 cards. Nothing shabby about that. While discarding some things you don't need. Granted, you're going to want to Colress most of the time until you get to 7 in the Lost Zone, which often can happen turn 2, occasionally turn 1, because you are playing the 2 Lost Vacuum that'll accelerate that. Raihan is sort of the unspoken MVP of the deck in my limited testing. We also have 3 Rod to recover things, 7 different ways of switching, and a Heavy Ball so that we can get that one attacker that we really need for this matchup. Raihan can help you out with that too, by the way. And then finally, the final little bit of weird with this deck is the Gift Energy. And Gift Energy in my head basically is, well, I'm going to stick it on the Comfey that I have to leave in the active because I don't have anything to attack with. Or I'm going to stick it on the Cram. Or I'm going to stick it on whatever I'm attacking with late game if I've managed to conserve it this long. So that when they Iono me or Roxanne me and then knock me out, I'm going to fill up my hand again. Because they can't Iono or Roxanne and Boss. And if they're behind on prizes, well, they're behind on prizes. That means I was ahead. I'm winning. So Gift Energy, it's a very interesting thing to weave in here. Part of me would rather have a Jet Energy some of the time, but it can be pretty powerful when it works. Now with that, we've covered the deck. Let's get a little more interesting and let you see it in action. Okay, so we win the coin flip. I choose to go second. So far, my experience with this deck is when we go second, we attack much more regularly, routinely, reliably than in other Lost Zone decks. Looks like we're playing an Alakazam deck. That's interesting. We'll go ahead and take the mulligan, and boom, we're off to the races. We've got Roaring Moon EX. We've got a Battle VIP Pass. We have 2 Comfeys. We have a Radiant Greninja. Let's see if we can get cooking. Our opponent's setting up, basically. Getting some energy onto their Abra. Getting a couple different Abras down. And, yeah, just zooming through. Level Ball for a Kadabra for next turn. I love punishing that play when I can, but I don't think we're going to be able to in this instance. So we go ahead, we'll bench the Greninja. I want to check our prizes, see if we have any Pokemon in there that the Heavy Ball can reveal to us, specifically looking for Cramorant. And we'll go ahead. I play the VIP Pass here to get the Cram and something else. I go for the Moltres because he can be powered up quickly once we start getting Dark Energy in the discard. And I also wanted to do the Battle VIP before I Greninja in case that helped us get to a Colress. Similarly, doing the Battle VIP here for thinning purposes, basically. I thought about getting the Minior just for the jump forward attack, but he's not relevant in any case here. So we go ahead. Probably going to take the cart because we need to get things into the Lost Zone. And then with this Comfey, another Flower Select, and again, maybe taking the cart. Switch Cart into the third Comfey, and Flower Selecting yet again. And we're going to want the super effective glasses. We probably don't really need them in this matchup. I went ahead and Pokestop because we have a lot of items, even though we're not a LostBox deck designed for using Pokestop. We still have a lot. We didn't manage to get to the Lost Zone, to the 4 count that we need. So, unfortunately, it didn't work out this time, even though it frequently does. But our opponent doesn't do much either. They just manage to evolve into Kadabra and attach another energy. So we Flower Select, we get 2 Colress. Tisk tisk. Alright, well, we're going to use Colress then. We get Boss's Orders, we get a Dark Energy, and we get a Lost Vacuum. That Lost Vacuum is going to mean that we are off to the races, folks. So we'll conceal cards, and we're concealing because Moltres can get them back. And I decided to play the Escape Rope first, so that my opponent won't instantly know that we're attacking with Moltres. They may think that we're going to attack with Cramorant. Surprise! Moltres is coming down. Moltres is going to play. So, now we can loss on the Minior, because Minior is not going to matter against the Psychic type. And we can pull in the Dark Energy from Dire Flame Wings. We can use our Mirage Gate here. We don't have to get a Dark Energy necessarily, but we can. We might as well. And we could attach the other Dark Energy somewhere, but I'm going to hold it so that we can draw with Radiant Greninja next turn. So we go ahead, we take the knockout on the Mew, take 2 prizes, and our opponent brings back Mimikyu, thinking that Mimikyu is the new hotness. Then they pass. Oh, but that's because they're conceding, because they know they can't hang. Okay, so on to game 2. And our opponent wins the coin flip. They'll get to decide what's happening. A lot of decks like to go first, though, so maybe. Ooh, yes! They're going first. We get to go second. Hopefully we can pull off that turn 1 attack. Here's our Greninja start, but our hand looks pretty good with Battle VIP, Nest Ball. And it looks like we're facing Rapid Strike. Okay. Raihan can do things. Eventually they'll take knockouts. Alright, what are they going to manage to pull off? Nest Ball, Inteleon, or Remoraid, probably? Remoraid? Okay. Ultra Ball, away an Inteleon, and a Stadium. That's interesting. To get an Inteleon V, okay. And then we attach an energy and pass. Alright. Alright, I'll take that. So here, I want a VIP first, so that we thin the deck, and hopefully can get to more switching cards this way. We'll conceal, and again, okay, switching card, check. Colress, because we always Colress before we Flower Select. And we definitely want the Mirage Gate, we definitely want the Forest Seal Stone. And I think a Dark Energy makes the most sense here too, because we're going to ultimately want to attack with Roaring Moon EX. So that's kind of our ideal setup. We have the switching cards in hand. Well, I guess we need one more. I prioritize the vacuum here because, well, because it's important. They're already down 1 stadium, so they'll play another one and we can get rid of it. And yeah, so I think it's worth it, even though we missed out on the gate there. We have Colors for next turn. We can attach and retreat now. So with Nest Ball, I think we go get Cramorant and just hit him. Okay, so, well, remember how I said we'd want to be taking a knockout with Roaring Moon? Bad news. There's no Roaring Moon in here. So anyway, I think we still want to hit with Cram. I think that's still fine. Retreat. Put a Dark Energy down so that if and when we get to the point of Roaring Moon shenanigans, there's 1 Dark in the discard for Raihan use, potentially. They had the Octillery in hand. They had another tower in hand, which I guess kind of makes sense. And then they are frozen. No, okay, Arven. What do you get off of Arven? Okay, Nest Ball and Forest Seal Stone. Okay. Okay, so they can get Rapid Strike energy, and they can get the VMAX. Okay, so yeah, VMAX here, and then they'll have to get Rapid Strike energy with their V-Star, and then they'll charge forward, and they're gonna take out both of our Comfeys, aren't they? Okay, that's fine. That's what they should do. I may not like it. They're making the best plays for them, and hey, you know, good news for us. They only have 2 cards now. Alrighty, so how do we want to handle this? I think Colress is a good route. Alright, they've got 2 Inteleons down. We can make things happen with Iron Hands. We just need a little gust. That means we need lightning energy. So I guess we're saying goodbye to a Colress and a dark energy. So we'll check. 2 energies are down. And we'll get rid of a grass energy so that we can see more. Okay. Now we can Lost Vacuum to get to 7. But I think activating Mirage Gate by itself doesn't do anything for us. So I think just spitting there is the right call for now. And they're going to get an Inteleon VMAX. And is this... So I think the right play for them here is to get Karina's focus, but they choose to get the energy to ensure... I've actually debated about this. There have been tournament situations that I lost because I got Karina's focus instead of the energy. But I think we're about to throw a party. Raihan can enable us to do some retreating. Ooh, 2 Mirage Gates? 2 Mirage Gates? Okay, we're going to take... If we do this right, we can take 4 prizes this turn. Okay, so Heavy Ball has the Roaring Moon. We cannot afford the Mirage Gate. So Heavy Ball gets us the Moon. Let's go ahead. Let's do that. Let's get it. He can be ready to go. Let's think this through. Okay, so Raihan will get us whatever we want. And also attach an energy from the discard. If we do that and we manually attach, that's all the energy we need. We just play 1 gate. So yeah, that's it. We don't need to grab that energy. It can stay there. In fact, it needs to stay there. We're gonna have to super rod things back. So is there anything we really need? We could get Battle VIP now. That was a misclick. Maybe the stadium to mess them up there some. Super rod for next turn. Okay, so we're going to conceal cards away, get rid of a dark. This way, when we play the rod to get back the other types, we can get multiple energies back, so we actually hit multiple things with the gate. And it's not just one type. Made that mistake earlier. So we attach here, we attach here, we attach the lightning, and then we can switch cart. Oh, okay, so... Alright, that almost got me. When I didn't know what to get off of the freaking Raihan, that was the answer. I had to think for a second, because we almost had to just do the arm press and take 3 prizes. But no, we got 4. We got 4. And now we can easily set up Roaring Moon for next turn if they take a knockout. If they don't take a knockout, then boss's orders on the Inteleon, and we're good. So I think this is basically our game. Whatever they promote is going to get knocked out. What's the other going to do? Get him another Inteleon VMAX for us to get 4 prizes off of? Okay, that was a little rude. I shouldn't. Bad sportsmanship. Earthen Vessel. So they can double gunner. Rapid Strike Search. What would they get here? Oh, they were going to get a stadium here to retreat, and they concede because they're out of stadiums. So that's kind of what happens. We recognized that early on, that was going to be something we could sort of mess them up with. But for argument's sake, even if that weren't an issue, if they were able to retreat like they planned, and then they get the 1 hit with the Urshifu, and our our Iron Hands goes into the discard, we have the technology to win either way. Let me back it up just a hair so we can see our hand still. So, with what we have in hand, all we have to do, play Super Rod. Like, we promote Roaring Moon, we play the Super Rod, we play Mirage Gate then to get 2 energies, and attach a dark manually, and then we have the knockout multiple ways there. So we were winning regardless of whether they retreated or not, but they did want to get that KO. Didn't matter though, because amp you very much for 360 damage is insane. Alright, with that, we're done with the Counterbox deck for now, until I fall in love with it or don't. If I end up loving it as much as it feels like, You may see a lot more of it. Maybe you'll see it taking the place of some cloth content down the road. But with that, I'm just going to say thank you for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Likes and comments are great too. Anything you can do to support the channel really does support the channel. I've been seeing some growth in the last couple months that has been phenomenal. And if you could help that continue, I appreciate you so much. With that now, once again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.